Heather, can you hear us now?
Now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Aw, hello, baby.
The baby's here.
Baby has to be there. Thank
And
you,
Ryan
Hannah.
is here. I don't know that you can see him online.
Where's Ryan? Where's the
Yeah.
Where's the new guy?
This new guy's here.
We got a new guy.
Yeah, it's like just watching me.
Beth, it won't.
Ryan will have to talk more later.
Okay.
I'm too far away to even wait.
All right. Well, we're going to get started, and I am going to call the meeting to order at 6:07, and that is the Hartland March 12th meeting. And the first thing that we're going to do is reorganize. So we're going to start with nominations for the election of a chairperson. So I will take nominations.
I nominate Nikki Buck.
I second that.
Are there
Yeah,
any
sorry.
other nominations? Any discussion? Besides, she does a great job, and you
Yeah.
have a chance to accept it.
I'll accept the nomination, but I am gonna put a caveat that I'm not sure how long I will stay as chair. But I wanna get us through the next month and a half, for sure, and then I'll probably stay longer too.
Yes, okay. So I'm gonna have to do a roll call vote because Heather's online. Are there any other people wanna nominate anybody? Just making sure. Okay. All right, Heather, we'll start with you.
Aye.
Hannah,
Aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
Ryan,
Aye.
and Beth.
Aye.
Awesome, Nikki, you are back to being the chair, and the meeting is back to being yours.
So I'll take a nomination for the vice chairperson. Do we know who had it? I think Colleen might have had it.
I think Colleen might have had
I
it,
think Colleen.
actually.
We miss Colleen. So who wants to be vice chair?
It means you have to fill in if Nikki's not here.
I can be vice chair.
Okay, so I'll nominate Beth to vice chair. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Ryan seconds. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, we'll do a roll call. Heather, you're always first on the roll call.
Awesome. Aye.
Okay, Hannah?
Aye.
Nikki, aye.
Ryan, aye.
Beth?
Aye.
Okay, cool. Okay, we have Beth as a vice
Excellent.
chair. Okay, I will take a nomination for the clerk of the board. The clerk of the board is responsible for minutes when we don't have an official minute taker, which is
Very
almost never.
I nominate Ryan.
There you go, Ryan.
You
Ryan's
know
the
what?
chair.
Because
This is a good one.
that's what happened when I joined the board, Ryan. They were like, I didn't even have a say, but I will let you know that for that whole first year, I did nothing as clerk. So just
Okay.
Famous last words. I was just
I know.
My dad told me we never lose power in Hartland.
Yeah, right?
What? He was lying to you.
We do.
Okay. Okay, is there any further discussion on that one? Okay, we'll go back to a vote.
Oh, do we second? I'll second.
Oh, yeah, sorry, okay. Did you get who nominated? Oh, Heather.
I did.
Heather nominated.
Heather with Beth as
Yep.
a second. Okay. Okay, we're gonna vote. Heather, you're up.
aye.
Hannah?
Aye.
Nikki, aye. Ryan?
Ryan, aye.
Beth?
Aye.
Okay. Ryan, you're the clerk. Woo-hoo. Okay. Nomination and election of signer of the manifest.
This is the thing where you actually have to go in weekly and sign stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I am currently the signer of the manifest. I think Gail wants to kill me some weeks. But I also admit that I live the closest, and still have some flexibility in my work schedule.
Yeah, I live so close, but there are going to be weeks I just am not in Heartland during
Right.
business hours.
Right,
It's just not
exactly.
their Saturday mornings, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm in Hartland during business hours and sometimes 2 or 3 weeks late, but
It's okay.
yeah.
If you're still good with it, I have
Yeah.
no problem if you still do it. I
Okay.
nominate Nikki Buck.
Okay. Second.
Okay, so that was a Beth, seconded by Hannah. Any further discussion? Okay, back to you, Heather. All those in favor? Aye, Hannah.
Aye.
Nikki, aye. Ryan?
Aye.
Beth?
Aye.
Okay. I am the signer of the manifest again. Okay, nomination of representatives to the SU Bargaining Council.
Heather, that's what Heather does now?
That's what I do now. And I'm having a
Right,
great
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Great, I nominate Heather.
Yeah. I nominate Heather. I second.
Second, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Somebody.
a lot. Okay, so it was Beth.
It's a
I'm gonna
lot,
get my
but I like
second.
it. Fun. Aye.
She's very good at it.
Okay. Do we nominate two or just one?
Just one.
Okay, because it says representative, so, okay.
Well, wasn't Colleen on something?
She's on the budget committee.
She's
Oh,
on the
budget committee, that's what it is.
Okay, so Heather said aye.
Aye.
Hannah?
Aye.
Nikki, aye. Ryan?
Aye.
Beth? Aye. Okay. Heather's got it. Okay, nomination of representatives to the SU board. I will explain this further so that Ryan understands it. So this is the local board. And then we also have the SU board. The supervisory union board consists of 3 members from each town. So there's 4 towns in the supervisory union. There's 3 districts, but 4 towns. So we nominate 3 people and they go to 2 meetings a month.
One SU, one.
Right, 1 SU and 1 board.
And you have to be on it.
Right.
The chair.
Yeah, and the chair has to be one of the people. Beth was one of the people,
And Colleen.
and Colleen. So somebody needs to want to join the SU.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What nights are it?
Mondays.
Currently it's the 4th Monday of the month, and there is a remote option, and it's about half and half people
Yeah.
come remotely.
And so like, can you be remote at all times?
Yes,
Yes.
you certainly
Okay.
can.
have been.
What do you
That's
do?
Colleen and Nikki are all going right now.
Yes.
What, did you say, what do you do, Heather?
Yeah, like what would be, what's different about that role than like, say, this role?
It's a lot, there's a lot more policy work at the SU level, because the SU policies cover all of our schools. That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of reading of policies.
There's a monthly meeting, I give a report, there's reports from the director, so the director of finance reports twice a year, the director of curriculum reports twice a year, the director of special education reports twice a year. We have 2 data, information meetings, so it's SU level stuff.
Equity work
And equity work.
Every month they
Yeah.
do something.
Heather, you and I should have talked about this beforehand. I realized.
I know, I feel like,
You both would take it if somebody else wants to take this one.
no,
Say no to that.
it's like, my issue is that we're still, like, I'm still in negotiations. And it is like, we're about to start going probably twice a month so we can finish. And so like, I'm kind of drowning in negotiations right now. So like, is there an option to like, Hannah, I'm just going to throw you under the bus right now. Is there an option for like Hannah to do it for like until the end of the school year?
Sure, I also don't mind doing it, especially.
Well, in that case, Hannah, you're good. Okay, we're good.
This is a remote option. Yeah.
I nominate Hannah.
Hey.
Because I mean, I just think it
And
seems reasonable, right?
It's
You're
SU,
pretty committed.
so sometimes people don't make it. I mean, we need a quorum
Right.
for votes, but
Yeah.
if you have to miss,
Okay.
you have to miss.
Yeah,
Alright,
because
but
there
if
are
it's
12
remote
board
option-
members, and we only need 7 for a meeting.
Yeah. And if
Okay.
it's an important issue.
And generally, I mean, I'm
Okay.
remote every day because like Smart Fence is every Monday, so I just take that opportunity to go to the
Okay.
board meeting and sit in the.
Okay, and if Adam asks, this was like, I was the only
Forced.
choice.
You're
Yeah.
completely thrown
Dude,
out.
this is being recorded.
Everybody has to, oh.
Brian, we don't usually put new people on the SU board. It's, I think
Any board member is welcome to go
Yes,
anytime.
yeah.
If you want.
Heather will explain. It takes a while to get up to speed, right? And Hannah.
It takes getting through a budget cycle to be like, oh, I understand, like
Oh,
this
I
year
get
was,
that.
learned a lot this last
Yeah, that's true.
I nominate Hannah then.
Okay.
I guess myself, I don't know.
And, oh, right, so,
I'll nominate Beth.
okay. Ryan, you can nominate me.
I'll nominate Nikki.
Okay, is there a second for Nikki, Beth, and Hannah?
Yes, Heather seconds.
The second. Okay, that was a messy nomination, but we're gonna go with it. Okay, any further discussion? No, okay. We'll go to a vote. Heather?
Yep, aye.
Hannah?
Aye.
Nikki, aye. Ryan? Aye. Beth, aye. Okay. We have an SU board group. Designation of Truant officer. The current Truant officer is our SRO through Windsor PD. Do we take a nomination?
I'll have room.
Or you just, yeah.
I nominate
SRO, yeah.
our SRO too.
Okay, is there a second? A
second.
Okay,
Right.
I'm gonna give Ryan a second. Okay, Beth nominated, Ryan second. Okay, any further discussion? I gotta say, I love having a functioning truancy officer.
Yeah, and he's really good. He's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Okay, no further discussion. I will move to vote. So Heather.
Aye.
Anna.
Aye.
Nikki, aye. Ryan.
Aye.
Beth, aye. Okay. Done with the truancy officer. Okay. Designation of an official newspaper. I believe right now we have the Standard and the Valley News.
Yes. You don't have the Eagle Times.
No.
Windsor has the Eagle Times. You don't
Yeah.
have the Digger.
No,
You
who
have the
does the
Standard.
Digger?
The Digger has been somewhere.
Oh,
I think they eliminated the Digger. Or, no, they eliminated the Standard last night and kept the Digger.
Who did?
Mount Scottney. But you choose who you want.
the Standard doesn't go.
Yeah.
They're, I don't know. I'm good with those two.
Can you explain, sorry, what, and I realized I did this last year, but what is the official, what does it mean? What is it?
Post all the warnings.
If we're posting, if we have to
Okay.
post or a
So
letter
people
to-
know who
yeah.
your official thing is,
Yeah.
so they know where to look.
Yeah,
So it's Valley News and
the Standard?
Vermont Standard, yeah.
Yeah. The Digger seems far away.
It does, but it does have reach,
It
I
does.
would
It
say,
does.
with a certain readership,
Or
right?
Standard and Woodstock.
Woodstock.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
Standard, I do think there's like a subset of people that like really come pick up the Standard at BG's, and that's, you know,
Right.
so that, but I do think there's a lot of people that look at Vermont Digger for,
Mhm.
and you have two?
And that's just online, right?
You can have both if you choose.
I'm fine with Valley News and this
And Standard, okay.
Okay. We'll see how it goes down south
Yeah.
with the Digger. Okay, okay, so, Beth nominated, Hannah seconded, and any further discussion? Okay. We'll move to a
Aye.
vote. Heather, Hannah,
Aye.
Nikki, aye.
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 Beth, aye. Okay. Done with that section. Establishment of a regular time, place, and date of the monthly meeting. We've been the first Tuesday, at 6 PM. Is that still, that works for me?
Are we still good with 6 PM? Is
Um,
6 good, or can we, like, I'm just asking, I asked the same question last year, like, is 6:30 any better for anybody? Is 6:15?
All the other boards are at 6:30. We're the only board that's at 6. I feel like we've gotten a lot faster, so I
If you
am-
guys don't mind, I mean, I just am sometimes like racing to get through
Yeah,
that, like
I
get
know
home,
Heather is too.
turn around, so as long as it's okay that we like sometimes with 6:05 that we're starting. I kinda love 6, cause to be honest, my kids don't go to bed till I get home, so.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
keeping it on the
That's-
earlier side is a little more functional. Are you okay with that, Heather?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, again, I'm just throwing it out there. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, 6 is still fine.
if you guys are racing in at 6:05, we're doing okay.
If you make it 6:15, I'll be racing at 6:20. Lindsay knows it's still dropping for a second. Theo, go!
But I love it every day.
Okay, so, do we have a motion for the first Tuesday at 6 PM at the school, Hartland?
I motion to have our meetings on the first Tuesday at 6 PM at the Hartland School.
Second.
Okay, Beth seconds. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, move to a vote. Heather,
Aye.
Hannah,
Aye.
Nikki, aye, Ryan?
Aye.
Beth? Okay. Okay, so the last thing, is that, and we did this kind of after we did our reorganization last year, is, to elect to follow Robert's Rules of Order for small boards. The difference between Robert's Rules of Order for small boards and normal is that, we can be a little bit more conversational if you have less than 12 board members. And under normal Robert's rules, the chair isn't allowed to speak. Under small board rules, the chair is allowed to have opinions. So,
So we better adopt the.
Yes, I think we all agree.
yeah, so, I mean, it makes the board more functional with 5 people. If one couldn't speak, that would be harder. Okay, so I'll take a, motion.
So move to
Beth.
I'll second.
Okay, Beth motions, Hannah seconds. Okay, any further discussion? I don't know of any other structure to follow, so.
Yeah.
Okay, Heather,
Aye.
Hannah,
Aye.
Nikki, aye, Ryan.
Aye.
Bev, aye. Okay. We did it.
Fast.
Work team.
Yeah, that was like 15 minutes.
That was good.
So we really do that once a year.
That's fine.
First
Survey
year.
of the landscape, it's good.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. And welcome to being clerk. The
The
few
way
times,
notes are usually done is the one person who does it looks at the video,
yeah,
describes them after the fact.
and we pay them.
So they're good.
You got stuck doing notes a bunch of times when you were clerk, because we
It was
lost the
before
note taker.
that person.
Yeah,
So they're just, we have no idea what happened.
So unless there's no note taker, then
Right.
I take it.
We have a really good note taker now.
A really good note taker.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
I think this is included, but just in terms of changes, additions, just when we talk about the budget stuff, just talking about whether or not we need to do any other information.
Right.
Because I know this is sort of the, but maybe
Yeah.
that's just already included.
Well, there's the
in
budget information
the plan.
meeting. Actually, I need to talk
I don't
about
think we need to do anything else other
something
than
in there too. Yeah, so any further changes or additions to the agenda? No?
So,
Okay. We have a lot of minutes to approve because we have been busy this last month. Ryan, if you were not present during those meetings as a board member, you can't vote. So you're gonna abstain through all of these.
Nikki, can you do them as one lump sum?
I can if people don't have edits. Somebody could make a motion to approve
I'll make
all of
a
them.
motion to approve the minutes from February 6th and 15th and March 1st.
Okay. Heather, you wanna second that?
I second that.
Okay, awesome. So Hannah made the motion, Heather seconded. Any further?
Aye.
Heather, aye.
Aye.
Aye, Nikki, aye.
Abstain.
Zane and Beth, okay. So 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 abstention. And I repeat things so that the note taker doesn't have to rewind. I try to at least. Okay, is there any public participation?
Any public out there?
Yeah, well, we had a lot of public participation
Yeah.
on March 1st.
I would say I was really impressed on during the whatever it was called, the meeting that we had, the budget meeting, where we had so many people there, and I appreciated all their positivity toward, like, you know, what we were doing, and it felt like there was a lot of eyes that got opened, and like, oh, and I felt like we did a really nice job, and by we, I mean you, Nikki, did a really nice job of explaining things and making it so that, like, it's true that, like, there's only so much that we as a board can handle. So I appreciate that. And then also a few more public comment. One, winter activities went well this year, if only the snow cooperated more, because it was a little crushing for S6 and stuff, like, you know, but they tried to do a nice thing, and that was nice of them to offer that extra day, but then that didn't happen either, which is fine. Can't control the weather. So thank you to everyone who coordinates all the winter activities, because I know what a crazy amount that is. But as a parent of 2 children who adore winter activities, and it's the reason why they get up out of bed on Wednesday mornings, that's great, and I appreciate that. So thank you.
And I have an announcement. SpongeBob,
Yes.
the musical, is March 22nd and 23rd.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. You're the evil genius then. I don't
Yes.
know. Can we
Yes,
trust-
Wes,
Just trust the genius part.
Oh,
yes, West is a member of the cast, and I think it's gonna be amazing, so hopefully we'll see any public that are listening to this recording there. Okay,
Do
any
we
further?
need tickets for
Yes.
SpongeBob?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
email went out today.
Okay, cause I got a text from Alexis Garcia, which meant the email went out today, but I haven't seen the email yet. That's how I found out. The email went out.
Hey, buddy.
Okay,
Okay.
buy tickets.
Yeah, I don't know. Typically, in years past, I haven't necessarily put it out to the larger school community, but
Oh.
It was on Facebook today.
Oh, it
wasn't-
went
But
to-
was it just drama? Or
Yeah,
was
'cause
it
I
on
don't know
the
that I
whole-
got
It went
the
to the
email.
listserv today.
It went to the
Yeah,
listserv
Bettina
today.
posted it.
Okay.
Yeah, it went to the
Yes.
listserv.
I don't know how many tickets they have left, because I'm sure parents, like, family.
Well, there's 3 shows.
There's 3
Yeah.
shows, yeah.
I just got 2 more after it went to the
We're
listserv.
fighting for a 4th one, but apparently
Oh,
it's
you
not legal
Oh.
to do it, because we said we were doing 3, so if
Oh.
we do 4.
Oh, like
do a
if you
fourth
wanna do
show.
it next
But
year, you could say
I
fourth.
think, I don't know, I think if we
Who's gonna
sneak it
report
under
you?
the radar,
When would you do it, Sunday morning?
yeah, maybe we could just do it without us be there, and we just say, oh, we didn't know.
Oh, a show happened. It would be
Yeah,
really
show
hard
happens.
without percussion, but. Okay. Nothing, any other further announcements? Okay, we are on to the administrative report.
So the administrative report in itself is fairly short this month.
Because we had 3 meetings last
We
night.
had- Yeah.
Please don't tell me you
Sorry.
tell us.
We're still recovering.
So some highlights to start with, a few of these photos were from, on Friday, we had an all-school meeting and celebrated Read Across America Day. So we partnered with some of our older students, with some of our younger students, all in the gym, had this wonderful reading time, and it was a great way to end a week. So it was fantastic, fantastic. I wanted to pass along some words, I don't necessarily have to read it all the way through, but I wanted to pass along some words from our Leader in Me coach, Barb Littner, who came last week, and she felt compelled enough to email Christine, Elena, and myself with just some really kind words of things that she saw throughout the building as she walked around, and the environment and the conversations, the atmosphere, the work that teachers are doing with students. She was really in awe and inspired by. So feel free to take a read of it now, or you can go back and take a look, but she's a wonderful resource for us, for Alina and Christine and all the other administrators throughout the SU. She's a great resource to help us out. And what I'll probably do is circle back to this. It's linked there, but that'll be later in the presentation. So it's an edited version of the budget presentation, so I'll circle back to that. And then West, I'm gonna turn it right over to you.
Okay. So I was kind of trying to think back to February, because, you know, we're a little further into March, but I thought the theme was it was like quick, because I know February is like the shortest month, but it really felt like 2 weeks. So everything's like clicking, and it's just kind of going really smoothly now, and it just kind of felt like it like flew by, so, which was good and bad, I'm sure, in different ways. General news, SpongeBob musical. Now, it was in full swing when I wrote this, and now it's really in full swing as we all realize it is.
Like hyper mode.
Yeah, we realize it's next week, and we are not able to grasp that fact quite yet. Hopefully by next week we'll be able to understand that. I know it's a really
Silas
long...
got in the car. I think I'm freaking out.
Yeah. There's a lot of freaking out.
I know it was a while ago, but Lunch with a Loved One went like really well. Like it was amazing. The food was amazing, and I had drumming, but from what I could tell, it was a very big turnout. So that was really lovely. And then this was also a really, really long time ago, but the middle school and 2nd grade had a field trip to the Claremont Opera House, and it was like amazing. It was kind of like a history of like Black history, like music kind of, and it was kind of how it evolved. And I know you went, and it was really cool. It was a lot of fun.
And Wes, if you don't mind if I jump in, for Ryan, for your sake, Lunch with a Loved One we do twice a year during the school day, where it's during student lunches and we invite families to come in and we decorate the multi-purpose room, and it was, I think, the largest turnout of family members and support staff of students that we've had since we've done it. So it was,
That's awesome.
it was really, really fantastic. We had families, if they have multiple children, they stayed for like 2 or 3 lunches. Like they were just like, I'm here, and we were joking back and forth with these people. Like someone was like, on the first lunch I'll come up for lunch and then I'll wait. The next lunch I'll just do dessert only. I'm like, that's great, go for it. So sorry, Wes.
For
It was great.
last year, I went to drumming.
Yeah, I remember that.
Chris went to drumming earlier this year, he loved it.
I remember that. So this year, month's grade was 4th grade, and I gotta say I was impressed. I think they've given the most in-depth answers out of all the other, like grades, which I don't know if it should have surprised me as much as it did upon further reflection, but it was very great. So project was, the big one they're doing is wiring a cardboard house so it has electricity, which I remember so well. That's a Miss McClure classic. And it's so much fun. You learn about electricity and how wires work, and then you get to build a cardboard house, and you have to have lights in 4 rooms. Really fun, really cool, and yeah, I remember that really well. And then so asked a couple questions, per usual. So what was the best in-school thing that happened in February? There's lots of answers. So drumming, winter activities, the electric unit, and then lots of people said kickball in the gym, and apparently they did kickball, but with 20 kickballs.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Yes, it was really cool. Yes.
So that was very, very much a favorite thing. What are you looking forward to in March? Lots of people said the new Eureka math unit. So I was like, awesome.
Whoa.
Rock on. Yeah.
Go 4th grade.
Yeah. I know. I was like, I feel like
And you're not even a math teacher.
I was like, we should go have 4th grade teach middle school a couple things. March Book Madness, which I feel like classic, yes. And then learning a new
What happened there, Wes?
New song on the flute.
yes, yeah.
Oh, is it because it's in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
it just goes off the page.
only one person put that down, but I'm slightly biased, so I thought I'd just
That's
slip it in there.
exactly
Yeah. So I thought I'd slip it in there a little bit. How would you describe February, one word? And then fun, all caps with lots of exclamation marks. And then awesome. And then did you enjoy winter activities? Overstounded, yes. So.
And Wes, my daughter is in 4th grade, and this group of 4th graders, they are so, they're just wicked enthusiastic about school, which is hysterical to me and great. And you're the ones who have the largest group of kids doing band, and they're the ones every one of them signs up for everything. They're they're in it to win it, this group. It's fabulous. So that's why they answer.
Miss B was telling us that one time they all thought they had band, and it turned out only half of them had band. And the glares that they gave her when she said they had to leave, and she's like, "This is what you're supposed to give. The glares you're supposed to give me in middle school, not in 4th grade. How am I supposed to
So precocious.
Yeah. So yeah.
And I realized Ryan doesn't know probably what winter activities is.
I have some understanding what it
Yeah.
is.
So they on Wednesdays they take off at noon and go skiing. Well, the bulk of the kids, and then there's other activities of bowling and swimming.
Bowling, swimming, the outside of the building activities are skiing, bowling, swimming, but there's also a variety of activities for students that would rather not participate in one of those 3.
Yeah.
A large majority this year, we have somewhere around 130 of our students choose skiing, which is a great opportunity for so many kiddos. A lot of
If the snow is warm.
Yeah.
I know. Some upcoming events, speaking of SpongeBob, is the 22nd and 23rd. Early release on the 28th, so that following Thursday for conferences, and then there's a no school the Friday after that, the 29th. So both of those days being
It's early release
conference
this
days.
Friday too, right?
Correct. Yes, there is professional development early release this coming Friday. Yep. And then Christine.
We'll be looking at data on Friday.
Yes,
exciting. So I'm just gonna, full disclosure, I am running the Weathersfield meeting at the same time. So letting people in, and we tried to set Angie up, but it didn't work, so I get distracted.
Take your computer while you do this?
You've got that computer, right?
Yes, but I didn't know if you needed to let anyone in while you were doing this, but if, I'm happy to, if that, okay.
Christine's good at that.
There's usually not 2 meetings in the same night, but
Yeah, this is Weathersfield's normal time because yours
yours
needed
is
to be sworn
voting
in.
day, right, yeah, so anyway, Angie's covering it. So my full report is linked, and Ryan, what I do is I pull pieces out of my report that I give at the SU level. so Nikki's heard some of it already, and anything in particular that's pertinent to Hartland. So if you wanna scroll on. We have been working really diligently at the SU level on hiring practices, and we feel like it's really important for us to direct some work in this way because hiring is really challenging, and we're still trying to fill positions, and so we're committed to really making it a consistent and inclusive practice, and with the hope that by creating this process and a really robust onboarding system, we'll retain staff better. So we have a committee that's meeting. We've met 3 times. We actually met again today, so 4 times. We're working on creating job postings and job descriptions. It's funny that we wouldn't have those in place consistently, but we don't, so we're working on that. Figuring out where to post positions. So we typically just post on School Spring. But, you know, with our newly hired coordinator of diversity, equity, and inclusion, she's giving us ideas on where we can really recruit people from. So we're looking into that, creating expectations for interviews and committees, creating common interview questions, common reference check questions, and really rubrics for the interviews so that we, you know, just have really consistent practices across the board. So I'll report out our progress as we go. It'll be a little bit of time. Every month, we'll go to the next one, I am tasked with asking the supervisory union a question of the month, which the board helps develop. Last month was a question about early release days, and the results, the full report is linked, but I pulled out a couple of the slides from that. Early release days for 63.5% of the people that responded, which there were 63 responses, they don't have any impact on their family, and 36.5% said that they're a challenge for their family. And on the next slide, there are the reasons why, and they're not surprising at all. Childcare is the biggest challenge. Some people mentioned transportation home as a challenge, and loss of work time for parents. Those were the biggies. I did there were a couple comments specific to Hartland, which mentioned that it would be really helpful if the rec offered after-school care on early release days, and they currently do not, and I don't know why that is, but something that
I think
maybe
it has
we
a lot
can-
to do with their staff also
Staffing.
works here, so if it's a PD day, they're
They have
expected
to
to be
stay.
here.
Yeah,
But
Yes,
I
that
don't
is
know
right.
if it's still the case, if that's the case still, and it's just,
I don't know,
if
do a lot
it's
of staff
holdover.
work there?
There's some staff that do work there. I know that in general, they are struggling with staffing. And then you add on that, I think there's at least 2 that I know off the top of my head that are employees here that work at the rec. Maybe a combination of those. I mean, it's not that, I'm happy to ask John.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long of a period of time this has kind of been the practice. I'm not sure.
Since I was here.
yeah, since my kid's been
Yeah, it's been a while. The next slide is, we asked, there were a number of questions, but one of the questions was, we're exploring replacing early release days with full days for professional development or for conferences, which would mean that we would be adding an extra day to the student year, just pushing that last day out, and we asked people what their preference was. And the results are, for a small percentage, it doesn't make a difference. For 73% of the people that responded, they would prefer early release days to extending the school year. And then 17.5% wanted a whole school day. So that's, the SU board will make that decision when we're looking at the calendar next year, but wanted some information on that. We did survey the staff as well, and I haven't shared that data yet, but they felt similarly on this question. They prefer early release days for professional development. And we asked more in-depth questions about, are they valuable? Is the information that we're delivering valuable for them? And that was a mixed review, so it's more work to do, yeah. And I think the last slide, which we're gonna get right into, so I'll segue. I don't know if you read this or heard this, but 95 districts decided to go forward with their vote last Tuesday, and 65 of the budgets passed, and 30 failed, which is about a third, which is unprecedented in the state. 8 districts rescinded. We were 3 of the 8, which I was surprised at.
I am too.
I was
Because there would have been
surprised.
more than that.
I would, with what we were asked to do, I think we made the right decision, but I had wished that others had done so. But the 30 that failed are gonna have to
They're gonna have to go back
Make the
anyway.
same decision.
make some cuts and come back, so. I don't know if it was strategy, like, let's give it a try and see if it passes
Yeah.
and come back if it doesn't, but that's how it went. 14 districts still haven't voted yet, so that'll be, part of the equation in the end. So, all 3 districts, which I think is helpful, Hartland, Weathersfield, and Windsor, West Windsor, were all voting on the same day. The warnings are up, the sample ballots are up, and I've been working with each of the clerks to make sure we've got the election, all the things we have to do for the election covered, which we do, which is great. And the informational meeting for Hartland is at 7 o'clock on March 28th, and the new clerk, John Paquette, is.
Are you sure it's, okay, so it says March 26th on this.
It says March 26th on the warning or the agenda?
The
Oh, it's the
agenda.
26th.
Or is it
It's wrong on the slide.
Then it's
The
wrong on the slide?
School vote
Yeah.
is March 26th.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, 'cause the 20.
Is it the
Budget-
26th?
Yeah, the
is
budget
a
meeting is the
Tuesday. Yeah,
26th.
Tuesday the 26th.
Let me
Yeah.
make sure Lori put it in the calendar.
But when is the-
It is in
Sorry.
the calendar, right?
When is the informational?
That is the information
That's the
meeting.
informational.
Yeah, it's the 26th.
I'm sorry, and the vote is on the.
The second.
Second, thank
Yeah.
you, I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on, wait. When is the actual day? On the Tuesday or the Thursday?
The 26th, that's my error, Heather.
Okay.
26th. And then we'll
I
see.
read it wrong twice then.
Well, let me check the warning, because I don't know why I had 28, but I did.
And are we still having our school board meeting on the 2nd?
I think that's up for the board to determine tonight, whether you want to or not.
The second,
Is there a reason we wouldn't?
I don't know, other than if we just wanted to know the results.
It's the vote day, that's all.
Yeah,
we won't
'cause we're
know,
not-
we're
yeah.
gonna meet and we're not gonna know, like, you wanna push it out a week so that we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
we may
that's a
need to
good
have,
point.
we may need
That's
to
a
have a
good
meeting
idea.
anyway on
That's
the-
April break though.
Although then that's school break, yeah, you're right.
That's April break.
Do we wanna bump the meeting, do we wanna have a one-time meeting shift where we meet on like Thursday or Friday of that week before school break? So that we know what we're dealing with.
Can I ask a question, Christine, about this budget situation? Because only 8 schools rescinded their budget, and the purpose of rescinding your budget was to cut something, for most of these, I'm guessing, was to like cut some things out of the budget so that more money would go back into the pool, right?
Yep.
So if only 8 districts have done that right now, like, that's kind of, that, I don't know what the right word I'm looking for is, but like, so that means that only 8 districts put money back into the pool.
For now, but those 30 districts that failed are gonna be likely putting money back into the pool.
Okay,
They're gonna have to make some cuts.
Okay.
I mean, you can put forth the same budget. That's legal, but I don't think that's what will happen. Let me see that. This one's frozen. Just wanna check the warning. Does that answer your question, Heather?
oh yeah, totally. It's just, it's interesting to me, just that like, they made this very big deal about, like the state doing all this stuff, and then only 8 of us decided to make the choice to,
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's just a very interesting thing.
I think some, yeah, it's the 26th. The warning says the 26th, so. I think some districts, they had, I mean, this district was in that place as well. They'd already sent out their ballots, and they just took a risk. And some people probably took that gamble and won, right? Their budget, 65 towns passed their budgets. And I don't know out of those 65 towns, if those budgets were all, I mean, some people benefited from the
Right.
new long-term weighted formula, so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right,
So-
presumably Winooski passed.
Yeah.
Not to call them out, but by all data, they are experiencing a different, yeah.
Yes, very
Yeah.
different response, yeah.
Um,
So I will, take questions or segue right into
Yeah.
Lindsay's new presentation?
Or I know, Hannah, you put a question on the table of, and maybe that's for after, if we wanna do this first.
Yeah, let's do this
And then-
first,
okay.
and then I just wanna make sure we talk about, I just am concerned, as we all are, that there are a lot of voters who are supportive of the school, supportive of the board, and feel like their vote is an opportunity to send a message to the state about the challenges of the educational funding system. And they have a right to do that, but it puts us in a really tough position, and I wanna just make sure that
It
we.
harms the kids.
It harms the kids, and I wanna
harms the
make sure that
kids,
we
yeah.
sort of message this in a way that hopefully sort of reduces the rate of people doing that, using that as like a protest vote. And I think we just need to make sure that we message in a way that really communicates, like, if you turn down this budget, this is what it's gonna look like for your tax rate, it's still gonna go up, and this is what it's gonna look like for the kids of this town. Like, really challenging educational dynamic.
I think highlighting, and Lindsay's got a slide in there, we did cut our budget already.
Right.
We did the right thing, and I think that will fare well. I hope that fares well for the vote.
Yeah, the impression I've gotten, and I don't, is just that the people feel like it's not even about the budget.
Right.
It's not
Or
about the budget
it's not
or the
about the
school.
budget, or about us, or about the school, or anything. It's purely that the tax rate is going up, which is seen as, failure of appropriate funding mechanisms at
Yeah.
the state level, and that the only recourse people feel they have is to vote down the budget as a way to say, see, look, if you don't, and I would like to talk people out of that
Yeah.
strategy somehow.
Yeah.
And so I hope we can do that at the informational meeting, but I think we just also need to talk about other means of communicating to people. Whether it's at smaller gatherings, whether it's like outreach through the listserv, which I know we have not really wanted to engage with too much, but
Oh, I did.
anyway, that's the only thing I wanted to say
That makes
about it. It's
sense.
just like
That makes sense.
it's almost like we need to like go into marketing mode now. I think we all
Well,
are just like have
so before we get
science and
into Lindsay's,
background. Some of us are marketers, are we?
I talked to Michelle at the town, and she can, very quickly get a mailer out to everyone. So we talked about putting a mailer, reminding people to vote. I think I need to have it written by the end of the week.
And she's willing to get that out for us?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And she'll just bill us with her.
And we'll build a state.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Act 850.
So it needs to go out, she has to have it by Friday. I am really not here the rest of the week. I will be in Quebec.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm chaperoning
Oh.
7th graders, but,
Oh.
great.
Never mind.
It'll be awesome. No, the Quebec's part will be amazing, the kids will be great, I'm excited, but, it's not vacation. So I'm
So
looking
we
for
have-
help writing it.
Yeah, I'm happy to help work on that with you guys.
Okay, and we have, does she, Hartland usually has a mailer. It's a two-sided budget informational sheet. Ed
Right.
has that, Ed has that
Right.
corrected if you want it to go out. Do you think that's helpful or
No,
not?
so what she said she'd do is a postcard on
Okay.
like bright yellow paper.
Okay.
I think we get like 4x6 space. And I think we should just put like, please vote. We still get 2 votes, right, even with this move schedule before, yeah, cause the,
Yeah, we haven't voted on it yet, so.
yeah. So I guess we wanna put that there's the informational meeting and that we're voting.
April 2nd, with the times on there,
Yeah.
and informational meeting.
You don't want to put any other like information on that.
Well, board, maybe we should watch Lindsay's.
Yeah, let's watch this.
presentation.
Like, if we want to extract a
And
couple
then
key
we'll-
things that we
Because
think
my
are really
wonder,
compelling.
just in thinking about what you were saying, Nikki, is there some type of visual that we can
Yes.
create that illustrates your point, Hannah, that there's a lot of factors to this, but,
Right.
and I don't exactly know what that would look like, but something visual, easy to the eye that someone can look at quickly and
Yeah,
get what you're saying.
I have
So-
an idea.
Okay. What I ended up doing, this is very similar to the presentation that I did in February, but I tried to condense parts of it very intentionally. So the articles are different, they're the updated articles, through here, just the 3. I kept this visual, Nikki.
Yep.
Do you want me to keep it in there?
Yeah.
And then I went into priorities, so I took what was a few different slides the first time around and condensed it into this next slide and thinking about the 3 strategic plan goals and what specifically we're doing in each of those to hit that. And then the way that we talk about the community, tried to add some lovely pictures in there. I took a lot of the pictures that were in the other one and just placed them in different
Yeah.
positions. The ways that we meet the needs of students, that slide is still the same from the previous meeting. What's new this year, I kept that. What I did take out, knowing that we did take the playground out of the budget, that piece of what was on this slide I removed from here. And then this is still the same as the previous, so I'll go through there. This part does, parts of it, obviously now that we have a different budget, looks a little different. Enrollment stays the same, so those numbers are still updated.
We did remove money from the SU budget.
We did.
So that, does that slide? That's probably
That
the
slide, this slide that,
You're looking at this one here?
the visual, so that is an actual budget of FY '23, because
Oh,
it couldn't
okay.
do, because it's actuals,
Right.
so,
No, that makes
so it
sense.
didn't change.
Okay.
But it remains approximately the same.
Yeah.
Which is really demonstrating
Maybe
just
we
where
could
the money
put,
goes more than that.
FY '23 on there, for example, or something like that.
Oh, you don't mind adding that?
I don't mind adding
that. Thank you.
Because it's the one we're gonna find out.
Oh,
Okay, you're gonna
So the current enrollment, this is the same as the previous one. High school tuition cost, that is a fixed cost that has not changed, so that slide remains the same as the last time. Budget goals, we talked about, maintaining a program of studies where we're supporting students intellectually, socially, emotionally, and physically, as well as bringing forth a responsible budget. That part's the same. I did add on the right-hand side, making sure to point out that we did increase the budget by 1.0 full-time teacher last year.
Okay.
And the budget, again, changes. So what is currently built within this budget is that addition of 2 FTE full-time educators that are the ESSER funded teachers that are already currently within the building now. So I made sure to point out that they have been ESSER funded and that they're already staff that are working within our building now. And then pointed out their reductions from the previous budget. So the large items that we took out was the playground, the 2 full-time educator positions that are both currently unfilled positions, as well as some furniture dollars. And then I totaled that down to the bottom. It's a reduction from the last budget to the first.
Liz, this is total semantics, but I might
Yes.
change that first word from reductions to like removal or something to be
Yep.
clear that it's not just we didn't just reduce the playground, we took it out.
And
Hold on, let me fix that right now, Hannah, while I.
Like items removed
Yep.
from budget or something.
so we removed 2 teachers, but one of those teachers is already in the budget.
Yes, the Spanish position.
Right.
Yep.
So I wanna say like the total change in teaching staff is only 1.
Well, I almost feel like it's better though to
Well, wasn't the coach
demonstrate.
in the budget as well?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Wasn't the instructor, the other person is the
No, I'm
instructor
talking
as
about
well?
like the total change in teaching staff, cause the way I read this, it sounds like we're adding 2 teaching positions. But we're
I
really
see.
only adding 1 over this year.
Yeah.
And then we remove, do you know what I mean?
So how did you say?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
They were
You're
both
talking
ESSER
about
funded,
here.
but one had already been funded by the budget previously.
No,
You've decreased 2 teaching positions.
No, wait, she's a slide before you in her
No,
brain.
you're
She's
back
thinking
here?
about the additions, changes, yeah. Here, I can take it so you can, so I can think.
So, yeah, so what
My
I'm,
brain's
what I'm
confused.
saying, okay, so we're adding the 2 ESSER positions, but we are removing the current Spanish position. So overall, we're only adding 1 teaching position from last year.
Got it.
So maybe it's a summary slide of what we have removed from the previous budget. And then, so overall, we are only adding, like our only programmatic change is to add 1 teaching position.
But is it net positive 1? I thought it was
Yeah, I think so.
relative to last year,
Yeah.
even
But it's
with
not
the
like we're
removal
hiring
of the
somebody,
2?
I'm
Yeah.
getting very confused. In my mind,
we're
We
never.
have, our ESSER funded positions are continuing, we're getting put into the budget.
Right, but I'm
But
thinking
then
from
we're
a,
cutting these two other positions.
right,
So then, in my mind, it's like an even switch.
Even, right, that's how I'm imagining
but
it
it's
too.
not,
Why is it not?
because the ESSER fundeds aren't paid locally.
But they will be next year, but we were supposed to have the world language and the coach paid locally, and we've taken those out.
Right,
So we're
but then
plus 2
we're,
minus 2.
but we're supposed to be paying, we have two, the coach was never in the budget this year. The two ESSER positions were local, so we were looking at adding 3 positions.
The coach was in
The
the
coach was
first,
in.
the first budget before
Oh, that's
we
right, the coach
changed
was
it.
in this
Yeah,
year,
it was
too.
in, yep.
Yeah.
So we're plus
Right.
2 minus 2, so we're
So
net
we are
even.
plus 2 minus 2, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to make it clear that those 2 positions are in this budget. So we are not adding any teaching positions next year.
I think you say that, there are
Yeah.
no additional teaching positions.
I think we put it in
Yeah.
bold at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Can I, this is like a really, sorry, I'm being like really annoying, I'm just like thinking if I'm like older than 40 and watching. Can we change the colors of the
Yeah.
slide, cause it's kind of hard to see the white on the line?
It's a simple, absolutely.
Make it black or light.
Or like blue, or like,
Yeah.
or yeah, just, yeah, I see what you're
Text.
saying. Yeah.
Yep.
Text
You
black
can
or the
change-
background a
yep.
different blue or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can change it so it's all.
Like, I think that's easier to
Like
see.
that blue?
Yeah,
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 blue is
I'll-
easier.
I can fix it so instead of the green, you'll see the blue.
yeah, and we're gonna bring like a megaphone this time too.
Yeah, right,
And then we're gonna stand in the new intersection and scream on the megaphone.
Okay, so changes.
You already did that this week.
Yeah, I think
actually
we
have
need to
people sit in
think
the front
clearly
seats,
about
that was
how
making
we're
me angry.
communicating this so
I
that
was
it's
like, don't
really
complain that you can't hear, but then
clear.
sit in the back.
Okay.
Like initial proposed changes, revised proposed, something like that, right?
Reduced, rescinded,
So
budget.
almost like, and it's gonna be hard to see because the font's gonna default to really small. Like first budget, proposal, I can wordsmith this a
You
little bit more.
could, you could do, budget proposed, first budget or March, whatever, 5th budget proposed, the
Yeah.
total dollars, then you could put increases, and then you put revised budget total. I mean, I keep it pretty simple,
Yeah, total dollars decreases revised,
total,
Yeah.
for April 2nd.
and that would almost be like on this half here.
Yeah.
Second, budget, April, second.
And you might even wanna point out the the amount reduced.
Yeah.
It may be something you wanna put in chart form even, like.
Yeah.
A visual instead of words.
Yeah, just so
I
people
get
can
what
see
you're saying.
clearly like total budget,
Yep,
net number of teachers in the building, proposed number of teachers in the building.
Yep.
Resulting tax rate,
Yep.
revised budget, total amount, number of teachers in the building, tax rate. And then I think that's where we would show like current, current budget's the wrong way to say it, but like current funding, if we use our 2024 funding, this is how many teachers will be in the building and this will be your tax rate increase. Like I think that's what people need to see, is like, if budget voted down.
yeah, and then coming, in some of this, Hannah, I might wonder if it might answer, so some of this, I've kept the definition of EQS as it pertains to classroom
Yep.
sizes.
Yep.
Kept this with the
Yep.
updated to make sure that is still the same as of 3.7, and then it gets into this
Right.
is updated with the now new budget.
Right. Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, maybe you're right that it's sort of having it in more narrative form and then having it in chart form here is the way to do it.
And then this slide goes into what is the now new total budget, that it's a decrease from 500,632 from previous budget, that the current tax rate gives it 2.3504, which is a 29% increase from last fiscal year, and then without the CLA, the current tax rate would have decreased slightly, but the CLA accounts for 0.76 of the tax rate.
Right.
Do you want that slide that, I think we shared it last time, did we, Lindsay?
No, I'm coming up with a better one right now.
You got
I'm
one?
spreadsheeting.
Well, there's
Um,
one, Larry created one which shows what the tax rate would be.
Yeah, we showed
Without-
that, cause we
you
talked
did
about
show
it,
that,
yeah, we
okay.
did, we sort of said it.
No, we talked about
Current
it, but then I
budget.
pulled it out because I think it was slightly wrong.
Okay, well, that's okay, I mean, cause
So
we didn't vote on it
revisit it.
anyway, we haven't,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think that chart is really crucial for people
Yeah.
to understand.
Yeah.
Like, I think we need to like highlight the line that is at the budget amount if the budget is voted down. To say this will be the amount of dollars the school has, and this will be your tax rate.
Yeah, I think, so what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at the tax rate pre-CLA adjustment and then post-CLA adjustment, and the CLA just starts to go haywire. So in FY '23, we had an extra 17 cents, but the school budget was lower than it was. Our budgeted tax rate was lower than it was pre-FY '14. And then FY '24, we reduced a teacher, so it was even lower. And then, FY '25, it actually does go up. But the CLA goes to 84 cents.
What do
on
you
top of
have, do you
that.
have the historical, like
Yeah.
10 years back?
Yeah,
It's pretty, Weathersfield did the same thing, and it really, when the CLA is at 100%,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's steadily increased over the past, I don't know, since 2019.
but what is funny is that last year our pre-CLA rate was or our tax rate was 1.48, and now it's 1.87.
Well, your budget's increased.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
I mean, it has, even
It
with the
went up by
cuts,
$1
you're still up $1 million, which is gonna increase your tax rate.
Right.
And some of that, you can't control. High school
Right.
tuition, healthcare, contracted, contract CBAs.
That was
For
all
teachers.
it is.
Yeah.
Because we
I mean,
didn't
there's
have
no
any
additions, right?
And the last item
I think that's another really key piece that I
To
know
say.
Colleen would harp on a lot, right, is like demonstrating, yes, the budget is going up by $1 million. Of that $1 million, similar to how you sort of explained, like what comes from the SU, what, showing of this $1 million, this is the percentage that the board has any control over.
Yeah.
And it's very small, right?
It's very small.
I don't know if, because I kept that slide, Nikki, the one that we made prior to the last, the areas of local control.
I think this could
Yeah.
be simplified
Yeah.
to just a visual,
Yeah.
like a bar graph or a pie chart or just something that says, here's the $1 million and here's what we can control. Cause I
Well,
think,
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, so now the whole left side of the graph is not controlled.
Mhm.
So the only thing we can control in this current budget is the number of teachers.
Yes. But
Yeah.
the, a big portion of your budget is staffing.
Yeah.
So it might
But-
show.
but you might say, what if you demonstrated as if you said, if you somehow included, because in my mind, like, it's not that we've added teachers, right?
We
So
haven't now.
it's not, we don't totally have control over the number of teachers, like those
No,
are,
I
the
mean, you
teachers
also
are
just
still in
have
the
to
building,
do
I don't think
the
those should count as
education
things
quality
we.
standards.
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
so I don't, I
those.
think that you could maybe do that in a slightly different color and say, yes, theoretically, we have control over this,
Right.
but cutting these will threaten our education quality standards and will mean removing, like, we
Pie
don't,
chart.
there's not a lot of stuff we can control.
Yeah,
The other thing to note, and if the budget fails, we'll have another go at it. We'll have time to do another round. The warning rules are different for posting everything. But if you don't pass by July 1, you go back to 87% of your current budget.
87% of our current budget?
87% of your current budget, yep.
We
So
couldn't even
that's-
open.
We wouldn't open
No.
a school.
You probably wouldn't be able to.
And where would the kids
Then
go?
what happens?
But then how would we even
no
pay,
idea.
like, for kids to go elsewhere?
Well, I think it's important to just say that to the community. I mean, it's 87%.
87%, I
Yeah.
thought you had to revert to this year's
Yeah, like,
budget.
I think people need to hear that,
Yeah.
they think this is a protest vote, they think this
This
is,
is not a
like,
protest
the
vote.
school will be fine, they can skip winter activities, right? I mean, I think.
No,
I know, so I think that just
Yeah.
like really people need to understand what they're doing if they vote it down. That like we were talking about closing
Yeah,
the school.
you're in jeopardy of doing that. I mean, you
It's
can
almost
say
like a
that,
timeline,
and you
that's
can
kind
go
of what
back
I visually, like,
Yeah.
if the budget is not approved
These are different
by,
options, right,
by
yeah.
this date. If
Yeah.
a budget is not approved by this date, you go back to 87%.
okay, that's terrifying.
You said it was July
Who
1.
wants to be board chair?
I'm trying to keep it. We already voted you in. We made a motion, we
Maybe we should
seconded
have
it.
done that part after this meeting.
Yeah, that's recorded too.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
that's No, it's just like, it's so, this year is so devastating, and I'm also so frustrated that we have politicians wandering around blaming schools for inflating their budgets. Because that is absolutely not what's happening right now, and it is insulting to every single board member sitting here trying to figure this out. that
Yep.
Some of our elected officials are going around blaming us for these problems.
Although
I
not
thought
Dick
about that in the
McCormick, it
car on
sounds
the way
like.
to work the other day, and I'm like, how is it possible that, 4 or 5 schools are like fluffing their budget up, and, yeah, but every single school district in the entire state? Like,
Right.
how is that each school's
Yeah.
problem? Or should they get the blame?
Right. Yeah. It's so infuriating. It makes me want to scream.
So, yeah, so I
And
think.
that's what gets published in the newspaper.
I think that, I think it's gonna be really key that there's just like, that the graphical representations are like, if somebody's sitting 5th row,
Yeah, can see it easily with.
right,
yeah.
somebody who's, I don't know any Vermonters like this, but if there's some that like refuse to buy hearing aids or something.
Can sit in the back.
No Vermonter has ever refused
Actually,
to buy
refused
hearing
to
aids.
buy
I think
hearing aids,
Damon
but
Hall has a microphone system they mentioned that they could set up
we need to
for
set
this
it up
time.
this time,
I
yeah,
said that I'll just reconfirm with John,
right,
the new town manager.
Right.
I believe it was him that mentioned it to me.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also
something.
just think like keeping like every opportunity we have to reduce this information to really simple graphical representation, I think will be helpful.
So then if I give myself till next Tuesday, I'll work on this from now until next Tuesday. I will share it back out with the board.
Great, okay,
On next Tuesday, which still gives that you all another week.
Okay,
and to then
perfect.
feel free to add comments or anything that you
Okay.
want to change.
If we've made any things that we've,
Yep.
okay. And then I think we could use that, I guess we need to talk about a flyer.
Yeah, so we need a flyer.
Let me see,
Different than, we need a flyer or different than the postcard?
well, we're just
The
wondering, does
postcard.
should the postcard include some of this?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Like, here's the date and here's what you need to know.
I think we should form a committee to put the postcard together by Friday.
Would it be better, like, when will this presentation be online somewhere? I'm just thinking, is there better to put a link or a QR code
To the presentation.
for
If
more
it's really,
information?
if it's really clear.
Because then we're not like trying to fit a whole bunch of stuff on it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a really good idea.
So that means,
Finding a location for it.
well.
Yeah, and we can always print up, if we wanna do like 1-page flyers, we could always print them out, not mail them out, but leave them at key places, right, drop off
We
at-
can still post it, not complete. I mean, like, make the edits that we made today.
Well, it doesn't have to be I mean, when would this flyer go out?
It would go out next week.
Next week. You have time.
Cause we have to send it out about the meeting by Friday, is that what you said?
Yeah, in order for it to get, in the mail in time to be effective, it has to be done by Friday.
By this Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you can always put a placeholder of like, meeting minutes coming soon or whatever, as soon as, like, just so
Yeah.
people.
Lindsay,
put
one
a
other,
date
if
on
we,
it.
was at the end of it, one other thing maybe just to include in that first section, which is maybe just to sort of a little bit of a response to some of the questions. It seems like people really are focused on seeing some academic
Oh, yeah, we
metric data. So maybe just sort of saying, just a slide about that.
Yep.
Since it seemed to be a common,
Yeah, that was a good one.
you could maybe even do a slide like, at the initial information meeting that we had on February, whatever, some of the questions, some of the things that people expressed wanting to know about the school was, do people feel, Jeff Bell got up to ask
Yeah.
about, like, do people feel, like they have a safe place in their school building? And, you can easily respond with like, something about the initiatives that you've been working on this year. And then, we also heard from community members' interest in our educational outcome metrics, and so I wanted to share some of that data, you know.
How do we share that data when we're transitioning metric system?
Well, we could show star data. We can't, we don't have, the results are still embargoed. They're still embargoed from last year's
This,
VP Cap.
this is
and
what
we're
we need to be
starting
screaming about.
testing again in about 3 weeks, I think. Yep.
And you
This-
guys still haven't even seen the
We have
Hartland
the
data?
individual results. We
This
can't
is the
share
same
publicly
elected
the
politicians'
collective
problem.
results. So parents have their individual scores, and they were handed out at
Yes.
Yeah, at the end of the
house.
school year or something, I
But
remember.
we
Yeah.
can't share, like, we can't share statistics, we can't share it yet. So we can
But
show,
we can
we can
show
share
star.
star.
Yep.
And I think communicating that again, cause I think just, you know,
And you could do it by growth.
Yep, that's what, yeah.
I think we should scream that we cannot talk about our
Test scores?
data test scores because the Department of
Nikki.
Education is so dysfunctional that we can't even release them.
And they changed the game last, what was it, January, when they told us we were gonna do a new, state test?
Yeah.
So, I had to retrain everybody, and it was pretty stressful. But, it is what it is. But we can share star data,
Yes.
which is
Okay.
something.
Yeah, so we should do that. I think it would be really helpful to develop a QR code and just have the budget slides. So maybe just like the number of teachers last year, this year, like,
Yep,
so
yep,
programmatically.
yep.
Number of teachers last year, number of teachers this year. And then high school tuition, out of our control, high school tuition, SU assessment, SU
Yep.
assessment. The big ones, like, so just pull the big ticket items,
Healthcare.
other, and then that other change, which I think probably goes down, because we've got a bunch of stuff.
Other.
And have we calculated based on the ESQ, like I know you showed that great slide with like number per classroom. Have we just done a calculation, like what is the minimum required number of teachers in this building to be?
Like if you add everybody up.
Yeah,
Oh,
if
if
you do the
you-
math,
I think that gets a little more complicated because it depends on the grade. Because we're a K-8 building, the number shifts when you're thinking about a kindergartner or a first grader than it does when you're a seventh or eighth
no, I
grader.
know, but so can we do the math for this building? Like, can you do that math of like, what is the minimum number of teachers you need to meet those educational standards for next year?
Within
You
reason.
can, but I mean, you've gotta include special education,
Yeah.
those are required.
Right, so that's included as minimum number, right?
I mean, I guess it gets a little bit gray if, I mean, we have interventionists, they're necessary teachers in this building, they're not attached to a classroom.
Right. Yeah.
And you have related arts, which you need.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on what your definition
Define
of
as
is
minimum?
required is.
Well,
yeah.
we could provide our definition of minimum, but we could just say like, because I think that would be helpful for people to hear. What do the experienced professional educators say is the minimum number of teachers to be opening an ethically,
Yeah.
a sustainably staffed school?
You can also do the
And if
per-
you
per
tell me
pupil
that it's 30, then our job is to trust you, right? You've
Per
done the math,
pupil,
you've
the
said you need
direct
2
per
kindergarten, you
pupil
need 2 first grade, you
cost.
need X number of, right, and we get to this number that is, and then we say, and this is how many teachers we have.
Yep.
And you can say, including necessary special educators, what did you call it, arts?
Related arts.
Related arts,
Yep.
related arts. I was
It's
say
gonna
general
go
arts,
up a
that's
bunch.
different.
Sorry,
I mean, it's gonna go up a bunch.
it will. With those.
The average.
I mean, you need those teachers, but.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think that would be helpful then to say, like, how many do we have right now, and what are we proposing for next year? Because that answers the question, do we have fluff here? No, right, you have what's needed. I'm just trying to think of like the most cynical budget vote or what they're saying,
Right.
and
I
how
mean,
do we
we
answer those
do,
questions?
Like, the question is if we were to bare bones the budget, the bare bones the number of teachers every year, there are teaching positions that we could get rid of this year, but then we'd need them back next year, and so that's like,
Right.
we can't do stuff like that, so that will show up if we look at what the bare bones is. But,
We can look at it, see what it turns out to be. The other thing we can look at the per pupil cost, I believe it went down
oh, really?
over last year. Yeah, because of the long-term weighted average, right? It changes your
Oh,
per pupil cost. I just have to find the right spreadsheet.
oh, then that's probably a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I almost see this as almost a separate slideshow that is different
Yes.
than this,
So-
that
Well, we
only
can
has
feed
the-
that into
Yeah,
that
like
later.
this could be
Yeah.
included in this,
Yep.
but it's also, and
I
when I
think we
think
need
about a
to create
QR
some new
code, it's
graphics.
separate.
Yep.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, that are just like very easy to digest.
Yeah,
Morsels of information.
I like the QR
And if there are
code
people
on
that wanna
that
say
too.
like, well, how did you define minimum number of, they can ask
They'd
that
come to
question
the
and we
meeting.
can provide
Yeah.
that data.
Yep.
But I think we need to just give, just reduce it to its,
Yeah, so it'll be two, so this info will be included in here, but it'll also be separate, and
Right,
that's what the QR
Right,
code,
yes.
QR code goes to, is just this.
right, for people who wanna click
I
click
think
through
that's a
some.
really good
Yep.
solution.
Yep.
Ryan, what do you think?
I agree.
Overwhelmed.
I know.
No, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Is it even possible, like 87%, like if you were to look at the budget, like outside of teacher, like how do you even, like what do or can you remove, like do we have enough pencils, we can just sharpen them up for next year or something, like how do you?
Yeah,
The bulk of our budget is
staff.
teachers and
Yeah.
staff.
yeah.
I mean, it would be all our arts
Who,
would
and
be
if-
gone, you know, like all our, like,
You have support staff.
Yeah.
They're necessary.
who also negotiates the, like, the, medical insurance for the
State.
state?
Yeah, so
State
we don't
does it
have
for
control
us.
over
Cause like if
that.
you look at the budget, one year to the next, like almost everyone doubled
Yes.
Yeah.
in 1 year's time.
And that's what I really think needs to
Yeah.
be shown in like really visual,
It's a
visible way,
16.4.
that
the
like.
state tells us when we
16.4%
pay
increase.
for medical.
Yeah.
Healthcare increase. It was.
Now, in the
high
state's
last year.
defense,
Yeah.
the healthcare system is a whole nother system that's broken.
Yeah.
So, and there, yeah,
So,
somebody said it, it's not healthy, it doesn't care, and it's not a system.
Right,
But we call it
exactly.
healthcare system.
Larry is looking for the law on the 87%, but he did reference this, which was in the paper. School boards have until July 1 to rework budgets and pass them. If they're unable to secure approval for the revised budget, districts can borrow up to 87% of their last passed budget to pay for operations. So it's 87% of your
Where do they
budget.
like just roll like 87?
I don't know.
That's what we're gonna do.
I don't know. And he did update that pie slide, with FY '25 numbers.
So what's on this
yeah, it's
now is
accurate,
the accurate, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if the coins match, I should check.
That would send us back to pre-2016
Yeah.
with current wages in healthcare.
I mean, the
Tuition.
scary part is it's hard enough to find teachers, and this
Mhm.
will drive teachers out of the profession.
Mhm.
They're already leaving because it's stressful and it's hard, and
mhm.
I would prefer not to put them through this. I don't have to, but yeah. Anyway,
I agree.
so
So does that feel reasonable for the board if I can get this, both of these things? These slides, I'll send them to you separate, but also included in this, so you'll see them 2 times within a week. If I can get it to you on or
Friday.
before.
the short one has to be by Friday.
Well, as long as that's on a, if you
Well,
have
that
the QR
doesn't need to be
code
done
already
by
True,
built,
Friday.
as long as the QR code is fine,
Yeah.
because it will be a
Somebody
little
just-
bit of a turnaround.
Right.
Right, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to create the QR code? What makes the most sense to create the QR code? I'm happy to do
This
it.
says the power is
It's
off.
not
Do you need to,
Oh.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Sienna, for noticing. We can do it, Lindsay, yes, it's.
Yeah, so, okay, so we'll do that, but yeah, we won't need the slideshow itself done by Friday because
Right, they have to be mailed out, printed, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
we're
we
just
don't
like
need
the
to-
QR code needs to be
It's,
reserved
yeah,
and
yeah.
general text.
Okay.
I will probably not be able to even look at things,
It's okay.
so.
Honestly, I'll probably do some of this work now and then also through the weekend, so it'll be on or before Tuesday of next week.
Do you, so on that card, information on when the informational meeting is, when the vote is, and the QR code.
I
For
think
more
so.
information, visit.
And a website for people that don't
And the
understand
website.
QR codes.
We can also link, I mean, the full budget is on the SU website, like,
Share
It's there.
slides, I'll be around.
Right.
so you could link that.
What was that, Christine?
The full budget, if they wanna see it, is on the SU website.
Yeah, I could just do one slide that says if you wanna see the
Yeah,
full
you could
budget,
put that
here you
in your,
go.
you could put that in your presentation.
Oh, in the presentation.
Yeah, if they
Yeah.
wanna see it,
Yeah, I wouldn't put that on the card. I think we need to
More succinct information
use
is
a
more
hammer
helpful.
instead of
Do you have in there,
a slide with what the first budget was? Like where it's been cut? Like just a simple slide with. Well, there is that it's been decreasing in what the decrease amount was. So that it was. Budget as of March, whatever. Yeah.
Yield changes.
Items cut or reduced or whatever. Whatever Ian said.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah.
new budget total.
something that looks a lot, yeah, that's that in there, yeah.
Blacked
I
out the
know.
bottom part, you see, cause like, I put my vote on there even though I knew it wasn't gonna count,
Yeah.
if you could actually see.
I know, it would be interesting to see it.
And another thing too is like, when they get like exit polls from people, could we like stand down there and be like, hey, did you vote yes or no for the school budget? Why didn't you?
Right.
Oh,
Oh, that's interesting.
pressure.
Yeah.
but-
Okay. Can we have a meeting that doesn't reflect budget?
Yeah. So the next meeting is that second, so I guess the time is to figure out, do we wanna do it,
Right.
meet on the second, or do we wanna push it to like
Right,
Thursday?
so are we good with the budgeting meeting,
Yeah.
or the budgeting
Are you good?
discussion?
Yeah, we just
Okay.
gave you a lot more.
That's right.
Okay. So I think that comes to setting the next agenda. So we'll move down the.
It's either tears or champagne.
Right, and we won't know now. Well, we could delay our meeting until like
That's
8
what
o'clock
Well,
at
that's
night.
what, oh, you
Look at
don't
all
wanna,
the-
you don't wanna bump the meeting to the Thursday of that week? Thursday the
Well,
fourth?
everybody look at your phones. The 4th. Christine, what do you have?
April 4th. I can do that.
Can you do that? Yep, I can do that.
Hold on, I gotta check websites too.
It's the week before break.
Nice. Hold on, gotta check the lacrosse kids too. Okay, good. April 4th is good for me.
Okay, so that'll be the date. I'll have Lori change it.
Yeah, so we'll do April 4th.
6 p.m.
Um, yeah. We don't know what Heather's gonna say, but
But we'd still be a quorum if she can't make it.
we're a quorum if we're 3.
Yeah.
So we just have the administrative report with quarterly financials in April. We don't have any other big items, so we probably need to debrief the vote.
Mm-hmm.
And what'd you say, Beth? Champagne or what?
Champagne or tears?
Yeah.
I mean, if the budget fails, I think we take the time to think about the next budget.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
but let's just say it passes, then what are we discussing?
We're celebrating.
We're like 15-minute meeting.
Um,
Deciding how to spend all the fluff, you know?
Yeah.
That was a joke. People watching the tape. There's no fluff. It's all peanut butter.
We'll invite the governor down to check out our fluff.
He can go down the slide
Yeah,
with the
he can
caution
go
tape.
Yeah, we'll send the governor down the slide.
Right.
Sorry, I'm angry. This is how I look when I'm angry. Okay.
I don't know, the only thing I can think of is, I don't know if there'll be a staffing update if needed. I am not aware in this
Okay.
moment of any staffing updates that are
Yeah.
Add it to
needed,
your
but
report if needed.
if
I mean, we'll
needed,
hear
I'll-
more, it's more like the end of, like it'll be the May meeting,
Right,
then
yeah.
update because of
Correct,
contracts.
because of contracts, correct.
Right. Yeah, I honestly can't think of anything else to discuss until we know whether or not our budget passed.
Well, we can have a debrief of the play.
Yeah, it's gonna go great.
That'll probably be in your report, right?
We when the power went out today, it reminded us all the things that's gone wrong in the show. We were like, really hope this doesn't happen. And then we all like a full 15 seconds we were all just staring, like remembering every single thing that's gone wrong. And we're like, oh, this is a great timing to spark some PTSD and all of that stuff right before the show. Hey.
Like, that's the thing is, I tell my kids, no one else knows what's supposed to happen.
That's true.
Right,
No one else
exactly.
knows.
I know.
So you just gotta go.
I'm just not gonna be cleaning gum goo off of costumes. That was one of the things that went wrong. Torgan's gum
Yeah.
chewing started late, so she frantically tried to chew a gum ball like this
Yeah.
and then stick it behind her ear. But she didn't chew it enough.
Yeah.
So it's
And
like slimy.
No, it literally dripped
You had about
all over her
3
costume.
seconds to chew a
Yeah,
gumball this
a gum
size.
ball this big.
It was.
But
there
that was like a key part of her.
Yeah.
Well, but then the curtain broke
That's
in the
right.
middle of a scene, and we could.
That's
That was fun. We had
I
to
don't remember that.
manually
Backstage for that.
like pull
I
it
think I was the
open.
backstage parent, and I'm like, I don't know, just yank it. I don't
don't
you guys
know how
use this more
curtains
than
work.
we do.
Okay, do we need an executive session?
I don't know.
We do not. Okay, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moves.
Beth moves to adjourn.
And Heather's gone, so we can.
Hannah seconds. All right, so we can just do, and I'm just gonna say that we miss Colleen.
Yes.
Yes.
We understand that she's moved on and has been doing other things
Probably not
on
even
her
thinking about us on a Tuesday
sunny
evening.
Tuesday nights, but we're very excited to have you run. And you will catch up very quickly. Okay, all those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye.